Greetings, love and light. It's me, Michael Roberts from Michael Styles. I know that some of you may have saw a video that I posted about Albert from across the road from the salon, that his home, shall we say, got like burnt or, from a fire that was inside a shop below called the Ankh Wellbeing Centre on Walton High Road. And I know some of you might not know the full details about what happened from what we saw. So basically on Friday afternoon, around about lunchtime-ish, we saw some smoke coming up from a store. I was just like, oh my gosh, there's smoke coming up from there. Is there a fire? But because we didn't see no flames, we only saw smoke. So, me and the staff, was like, oh my gosh, what's going on over there? And then we saw people, coming out, and next door is a cafe, so people was coming up from there, and there's a bit of panic and stuff like that. But what happened is that the local community started to knock on the door for the flats above, because there's a mature man called Albert that lives upstairs, and a lady and another man that lives upstairs. So there's 3 apartments above the shop and stuff like that. So two community police officers were there, and while people wanted to go in, even one of my stylists, Jamie, wanted to go into the house to see if the deaf man was all right, and stuff like that. Anyway, the police wouldn't let them go in. The police sent them to get back and stuff like that. Right. What hasn't been mentioned or even talked about is that oh my gosh, I don't know if is he from. I think it's from Syria. Oh gosh, I hope I could get the country right. He went round the back with a ladder, and he went on top of the. He climbed on top of one part of the roof, and then he went to another part of the roof. Okay, and what he done? He broke the sunlight. He got into the houses above, and he saw the man that lived on the 3rd floor unconscious on the floor. All right, he risked his life to go and save this man's life. So he got him out. He done CPR on him and so forth. And all the time he was up on the roof, we're saying to the police officers and then the fire brigade people, look, there's a guy on the roof there. All he kept saying was, mask. We need oxygen, we need mask. And that's what the guy was saying on the roof. Yeah, that's another story. Yeah. So it was just like, look, this guy's saying to you, he needs mask, and stuff like that. So anyway now, bit after that now, as I said, we didn't see Albert. So, we're thinking like, okay, maybe Albert wasn't there. Or so we don't know. And so anyway, later on in the evening, the fire's been putting out after hours and and stuff like that. And then we're just wondering like, oh my gosh, I wonder if Albert's all right. We're sorry for the loss of the Ankh Centre. By God's grace, it'll get repaired and fixed and come back and stuff like that. Moving on to Saturday. So Saturday, I've opened up the store, come in, and while I was doing my second client or so forth, I saw Albert. So I said, oh, look, there's Albert. Albert's all right, because he was crossing the road. And then little while, I just saw him just hanging about outside the flat, even though it's got ribbon and tape there. He was just hanging out there. So I said to myself, what's Albert doing there? So I spoke to a fire brigade man, and he came and said like, oh, they didn't want to leave him there because of course he can't go into the flats, but he's tried to get hold of Brent. They tried to get hold of the landlord. Anybody that's in his phone, that was there, they were also signing, but they couldn't make out what they were saying to him on the signing and stuff like that. So that wasn't working. So, but let me tell you, the fire brigade man, even the fire brigade services, thank you so much. Thank you. So the fire brigade man was, we was conveying with him. Let me tell you how God is so good. So in my chair at that time, I was doing a client that also signs. So I was explaining to her that, look, there's a guy across the road. We need someone that can interpret him, to sign. So what she done is she gave me this app on the phone to bring to the fire brigade man so he can translate. I hope that's the right word to him. You know, to make up a conversation to find his name and all his details and stuff like that. So they managed to get his date of birth and they managed to get his first name. The fire brigade man said that they had been there for, I think maybe, I don't know if it's 5 or 7 hours, but anyway, it was over their shift and they were waiting for a relief fire engine to come. So anyway, now, so they left off, another fire engine services had come and stuff like that. Now, my thing is, so what you was thinking that happened with the first fire brigade, that he maybe got halfway through the council and stuff like that, or social services or something like that. Do you know what happened? Because of the new fire brigade man that came, the whole thing had to start all over again. So anyway, cut long story short, I was like, you know something? I spoke to a friend of mine called Lorna, and Lorna, she's away at the moment, but she got in contact with some people in London and so forth. I had even a couple of people, some translators from America, that said they heard about what happened, that, you know, I was looking for a translator to help converse with Albert. Right, so I got hold of somebody, so that started to move, started to work, and then I put a shout out, and then I even tried to get in contact with Dawn Butler. Enough people I tried to get in contact with, and it's just like, what is going on? You know, where's the services for deaf and people that can't speak? Where's the services for them? You know, isn't it not like emergency contact for them? And just let me tell you also before I go on, is that no, he doesn't have no family, all right, and stuff like that. So when people were saying, oh, why didn't his family come and get him and stuff like that, the man Albert didn't have no family. You know, we are his family. Walls High Road is his family. You know, so that's why we were like, no. And you know, I'm doing my clients here, but I'm not focusing on my clients here. I'm thinking like, no, this could be someone's dad, this could be someone's uncle. What if it's, you know, what a family member of ours? What can we do? So, yes, I put it on TikTok, I put it on Twitter. I tried to put it out where I could just to get some help. And then I spoke to Grace, Grace. She's Rules the Management, amazing. She helped me a lot. And then Councillor Chowdhury came and was like, Michael, I'm going to be in your shopping, to your shopping within an hour and so forth, and then we'll see what we can do. In that meantime, we called the ambulance, because how could somebody from the council say to me, this is not, no, the police said to me, no, the council said to me, this is not an emergency, this is not something that we deal with. I'm only telling you what I was told on the phone. Hey then, the woman said to me, oh, you have to call the police or the ambulance. They will then, it would be better if you call them and they could help with him. Yeah. So anyway, now we called the ambulance, and then a client of mine, a girlfriend of mine called Camille, she dealt with them, you know, I think because I was getting irate with them on the phone, so she took up the phone call and she was speaking to them. The ambulance came. As the ambulance were taking Albert into the ambulance to check him over, the counsellor came. I explained to counsellor, look, counsellor, this is what it is. You know, he has no family, he's deaf, he can't speak. You know, the cafe, you know, he's been sleeping in the cafe on and off. You know, they've been giving him food and something to drink and stuff like that. Excuse me. Right, so council said, okay, he's going to make some calls and see what he can do while they got him inside the ambulance. Anyway, council was able to get some information from him in the ambulance and stuff like that. So then council then came back to me and said, right, Michael, this is what we've got. Okay, right. Then council said, right, he's going to get the number of the landlord. Now, they said the landlord was on holiday, but apparently the landlord was in England. So they got hold of the landlord, and then accommodation was sorted out for Albert. All right. At the moment, I don't have much more information apart from that. So Albert, and oh my gosh, I think her name is Monique, and the other man upstairs, he came to see me last night before I closed. He came to tell me thank you. The man is on the 3rd floor. They released him from hospital. So he came, you know, and all he was concerned about is like, is Albert was okay? So he said, yeah, Albert's okay. So, you know, we updated him with that, and I updated him to meet counsellor. So, oh gosh, the guy upstairs on the third floor met counsellor, and then, as I said, counsellor spoke to the landlord, and they've managed to get accommodation for the three of them. So the three of them will be in accommodation. I don't, as I said, have nothing much more on Albert at the moment. I mean, I don't want to start taking in donations or clothes or stuff for him yet, because I don't know what's going to happen to him or where they're going to put him and stuff like that. I don't know. But all I just wanted to do is just update people and let people know actually what kind of happened out here on Friday. The fire service is amazing. I hope Ivy and the team for the Ankh Wellbeing Centre, you know, can get through this. I know it's just before Christmas, so that's the saddest thing, that, you know, this has happened to the people in the community, you know, their home, a business, you know, it has a knock-on effect on everybody around, because, you know, Wilson Harrod is like a melting pot, you know, we support one another, we pop into one another, you know, we check up on one another the best way that we can. And for this to happen is like, wow, you know. And I always say to like my friends and family that it's always good to check up on people, you know, just say how people are and stuff like that. And times like this is proving it, you know, just check up on people, see if it's okay, you know. And yeah, it just affects people, mental health, you know, so much things. But I think as a community that we can help and we can support, and, you know, Albert and, you know, his neighbours in this. All right. Once again, thank you to councillor. Thank you to the police that were here. Thank you to the fire brigade services and stuff like that. Thank you to the neighbours that were also helping. Thank you to everybody, the Michael Styles staff family. Thank you to each and every one of you. You know, Friday and Saturday has been a bit rocky inside there, but thank you. Thank you to the customers. Thank you to everybody that called us to see if we were okay. You know, because a lot of people heard it was a high road, and it was, you know, and people heard it was a Afro-Caribbean shop. So, you know, they're thinking, oh my gosh, Michael Styles. But so thank you to each and every one of you. You know, my family, my friends that came and checked up on me, that even called to see if we were okay. Thank you so much. Love is love. And I'll try to keep it all posted, all right? Love is love on this sweet Sunday. Michael Styles.